everyone, Todd Thoughton here from Thoughton Physical Therapy. Excited to be here for another session of Facebook Live. As you can see, I'm wearing my Boston Celtics Kevin Garnett shirt as the Boston Celtics took LeBron James in the first game last night. Excited for the Celtics. For those of you who have never tuned in before, my name is Todd Thoughton from Thoughton Physical Therapy, and I own a physical therapy practice here in Attleboro, Massachusetts. And I am passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about life in general for those of you who do not know me. And I'm most passionate about the mindset portion of how can I help people to reach their goals. I've been a physical therapist for almost 25 years. I've treated a lot of different populations. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is I want to add more value to people. I want to be able to add more value to those of you who I can't reach when I treat patients on a day-to-day basis. So here we are, week 16 or week 17, and the topic of the week came about through a couple conversations that I had had with a few friends. One of the things, I ask a lot of questions. I'm always asking questions, always trying to improve myself. And one of the questions that I had is, why do people love their physical therapist so much? Why do people love their chiropractor so much? Why do people love their massage therapist so much? Why do people really have a good relationship with someone in their life that's trying to help them out? So it really got me to thinking, and that's how I came up with tonight's talk. How's it going, Tracy? Thanks for joining. So the session tonight is, can physical therapy help me, and how can I choose the right physical therapist for me? What I wanted to do was share what I feel is a successful relationship in any relationship, as well as especially for the physical therapist and the patient partnership, because I think that is a really crucial. So if you're watching this, it really breaks down into 4 reasons why you might be watching this. 1, you've had physical therapy before, it has worked, it has been successful, but maybe you have a different injury and you want to just find out some more information. How's it going, Craig? Thanks for joining. Number 2 would be, you've had physical therapy and you feel it's a complete waste of time. You feel maybe the copay was too high, the hours weren't good, all these number of reasons why it didn't work. But that's number 2. Number 3, you haven't had any physical therapy before and you're skeptical. You've heard that it may be painful and you're not really sure, you're kind of uneasy about it, so you wanted to maybe tune in to see what this was about. And the 4th one would be is that you're curious and you don't really know anything about it. For me, one of the important things that I really feel as a patient is that you are in charge of your care. You are in charge of the one making the decisions, which is crucial. Decide when you're going to have the care, what kind of care you're going to have, where you're going to have it, and who provides it to you. Also, it's really important that we need to keep raising our standards and raise our standards and raise our standards. And by that I mean, we only get what we tolerate in life. And choosing a physical therapist is no different. Whatever we tolerate is what we're going to get. So we want to raise our standards so we can get the top-notch care in any situation, but especially we're here talking about physical therapists. As a physical therapist, you might be thinking, well, what kind of person do you really like to have? I like to have any one of the 4. Someone that's tried physical therapy and has been successful. I like to have someone who's had, probably my favorite ones are the skeptics. The people that have tried physical therapy and they think it's been a waste of time. Or if they've tried physical, or they haven't had any physical therapy and they're a skeptic. They feel like they've heard that it's painful, they've heard all these other different things that are going on that may or not be true, but they haven't really developed their own thought process. And I just as much enjoy someone that has no experience whatsoever, because I feel one of my favorite things is to educate patients. So it brings me to the point, what do physical therapists do? I'm going to talk about the who. Who is a physical therapist? Physical therapist is someone who helps you recover from an injury, whether it's a spine issue, whether it's a muscle issue, whether it's a joint replacement issue, women's health, neurological, headaches. Physical therapists usually have their doctorate degree. And also physical therapists have something called direct access, which means you can actually go, in a lot of states now, go to see a physical therapist, as opposed to have to going through the different channels of seeing your primary care physician or anything else. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the role of a physical therapist. Overall, we want to look at what is your overall big picture of your health. We want to look at your general wellness, overall general wellness, and we really want to see the big picture. When we see the big picture, we want to focus on the movements of the spine, because I believe as a physical therapist that we need to look at the movement of the spine first, and everything else goes from there. The next thing would be treating as a physical therapist. The first thing we need to do is we educate you as a consumer. You really have the right to choose any physical therapist, but you really want to be educated on what to look for. And this is what I'm going to kind of go through and hopefully provide for you tonight. Treating as a physical therapist, I know I'm going to manipulate the spine first, and then I'm going to work my way out to the rest of the body as needed. I'm going to address the tightness in all the joints through any joint mobilization that I do, or by corrective exercise. That's also very, very helpful. I find corrective exercise is a better place to start first. Then what is the theory of being a physical therapist? The theory of being a physical therapist is we want to treat the cause of the injury. We want to treat the cause and not the effect. For example, when someone comes in with plantar fasciitis or piriformis or a knee issue, I'm always looking at the low back first, 100% of the time, because I know through my experience that I need to be looking there, because that's at least for a significant portion of what the injury is. Another example might be is that I'm going to activate the glutes and the core, because that's going to help by firing the right muscles. My hamstring tightness is going to, if it doesn't resolve completely, it's going to resolve a significant amount. And the next thing, how long are the sessions? Like, I don't know. I've been to some clinics, I hear that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a half hour, hour, 2 hours. Most of the time, a physical therapy session, when you want to get a one-on-one with a physical therapist, is about a 30-minute block. You may be in the clinic a little bit later, or if you come in a little bit sooner, you might be able to warm up and do some of your other exercises. As a physical therapist, I use the test and retest method. I want to ask you how you feel. I'm going to do something, and then I'm going to retest it right away. I don't want to go through my whole one-on-one time with you just for, I don't want to go through the whole time not knowing if it's going to be effective. So I believe the test and retest, what is making you better? And also good information is what is making you worse. So there are two things that I know when I meet a patient that I absolutely need to do. That it really kind of sound obvious, but it's super, super important. That I need to be the best that I can be every single time I see you. So what does that mean? I need to be in a good state. I need to be in a position where I'm ready to engage you. I'm ready to help you out. And I know some people come in and we see it around all the time, friends or family. You might see if someone's kind of slumped over, the shoulders are drawn, their head's down, they really don't have a lot of energy. But I want to make sure that I'm going to come at with a pretty high energy to you, because I know all good things come from that point of being in a good state. The second thing I need to be is I need to be a good reader of you. I need to understand emotionally and physically what you want, and I need to be able to assess where you are when you come in. And if you're not in a state, in a good position to learn, being in a peak state or being in a good state, then I need to try and figure out ways to get you there. Because I know, like any other conversation, if two people are having a conversation and they're in a great state, the conversation is going to go well. If one person is not in such a good state and the other person might be in a good state, it still might not go well. But if they're both in a bad state or both in a negative state, I know it's not going to go well. So I need to be in a good state. I need to be the best I can be for every time for you. And I need to be a good reader to see where you are as well. So what does it mean to be in a good state? For me, it means I need to be on top of my game each and every day. If I'm having a bad day, I also need to how to change in an instant. Very important. From the first visit, I need to assess what your state of mind is, develop a good relationship, and develop a connection with you. And then I also need to evaluate. I need to evaluate how you think you're doing. I need to evaluate your progress. I need to feel where you're at emotionally, because that's really going to have a big effect on how our sessions go forward. Now, through my eyes, you will know, or if you have chosen the right physical therapist, if I have met 4 of your basic needs. 4 of them. I'm going to break it down into 4. So the 4 basic human needs is everyone needs a little bit of reassurance. Everyone needs a little bit of certainty. So that's number 1, reassurance and certainty, which is always important. Crucial, crucial, crucial every time I see you. And what is an example of you needing some assurance? You need to know that I know that everything is going to be okay. You need to know that I'm confident enough to treat whatever condition you're coming in for. You need to know also, so with some certainty and some assurance, that I've treated this diagnosis before. If I haven't treated the diagnosis before, it might make you feel a little bit uneasy. You also need to know how certain I am that I'm going to help you. Like, you should feel like when you leave my evaluation or when I'm talking to you, that I've come up with such a plan, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to help you out. Crucial. And sometimes people need the certainty or the assurance to see the same person all the time, which is what we try and do. Follow you you start with the person and you hopefully follow through most of the care with maybe 1 or 2 clinicians. Also, people will need, but it's not as important, as some people need variety or some uncertainty. Some people get bored easy. When we're doing the exercise, we want to make sure that the exercises are progressing enough so you're not bored. Super important. Some people like to see somebody different. Some people like to have a different perspective. I might treat something a certain way, and one of the other clinicians might treat someone another way. So we need to really pay attention to make sure, what do you need? The third thing is I should make you feel, or a physical therapist should make you feel comfortable immediately. From the first visit that you come in, that you set foot in the office, from the front desk to the physical therapist, to anyone you come in contact with, you should feel the most important thing. The next thing would be that we need to have a connection or a relationship. We need to have a good rapport, which is always important. Always, always, always. It's my job to find out as much information as I can about you, because I want to have good interaction with you. So we should be knowing, I like to ask tons of questions. I want to know more about you, genuinely, to find more about you so I can come up with the best plan to reach your goals. Because through our conversation, I'm going to start to develop what you want, what your outcomes are, because sometimes people don't even know what their outcomes are. But so I'm going to ask tons of questions. Like, I want to know everything about you, because I want you to feel as comfortable as possible around the office. And again, the more I know about you, the better I'm going to be able to help you out. So we need a little bit of certainty. We need a little bit of variety. Always need you to feel like you're number 1. And then you want to have a good relationship where we can trust each other. So why is this all important? Why is this all important? Well, I know that if I meet one of those 4 needs, hey Glenn, how's it going? Hey Dave, how are you? Hey Shelly, thanks for the emoji. So I know if I meet one of your needs of the significance, certainty, significance, uncertainty, significance, or connection, I know that you're probably a pretty happy customer. But if I meet 2 of your needs, I know you're a satisfied patient. And if I meet 3 or 4 of your needs, then I know, I'm hoping that I'm going to have somebody that's really going to trust with me and my care. How's it going, David? Really going to trust with my care and what I can do for you. And I'm hoping to build a long relationship where if you have any issues or concerns, that I'm going to help you in the future with anything you have going on. So, very important. So I need to meet all your needs. Our physical therapist needs to meet all your needs, because it's about you. So I feel the perfect physical therapist-patient relationship, that we both show up in a great state all the time. How's it going, Neil? How are you? Thanks for joining. So we need to show up in a great state every time. And if we don't show up in a great state every time, I'm going to try and find a way to get you there. Because I know that there's a big mindset component, which is my favorite topic to talk about, big mindset component to helping you be in that state. And then also we can help each other out. If I might be having something going on, you might be having something going on, that we can help each other out to have a good, successful session. And I know that if I can meet all 4 of your needs or 3 of your needs, that the sessions are going to go well, because you're going to trust me enough to kind of follow through. Very important. So now we're going to get to the juice of ask a physical therapist, what does a PT do? Well, the first time you come in for physical therapy, we're going to do an initial evaluation. It should be a comprehensive look at all your concerns. So I want to listen to you. Active listening, really important. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Someone a long time ago told me that. I still think it's pretty funny. So as a patient, you should feel, again, certainty. You should feel that I've done a thorough assessment of your concerns. You should feel you have an excellent understanding of the diagnosis. I like to use my skeleton front over there to really explain, to educate you as much as I can about whatever your condition is. Then we should also have a great plan moving forward so you know exactly where we're going. And that's going to be able, that I can, and I'm certain enough that I can help you out. Because again, it's all about you. The next thing is you need to feel significant. You need to feel like we've made a connection, which is very important to me, where you can trust me to help you out. You need to feel that you are my top concern and that I paid attention during the visit to figuring out what's going on with you. And then we just need to have a good connection, a good relationship going forward, and have an awesome partnership where both of us, the physical therapist and the patient, can work together. So how do we start? Well, one of my favorite things to talk about is the first thing that I need to do whenever I do assessment on any person is I need to know where are you at. I need to find a starting point. So what does that mean? I need to find a starting point through my initial assessment and through our conversations. I need to develop a baseline. I see as a physical therapist many patients that have done something, again, great exercises, either in the wrong order or the gradient's too high. And to be brutally honest with that starting point, because if I can start you in the right spot, then I know that we're going to take off from there. But if we start a couple clicks too far above, you're eventually going to get to the point where you can only make so much progress. You're going to hit a ceiling where you can't push through, and you're going to get frustrated. For example, if I give you a map of how to get right here from this clinic here in Attleboro to Boston, with this map, this would work and it'd be very helpful and you could get to Boston. If I give you the same map, but I put you in Iowa, and I give you the same map, but I didn't even tell you in Iowa, you wouldn't be able to follow it to get to Boston, which is your outcome. Very important. So over the next few sessions, what should I be doing? Well, I need to keep listening to how your progress is going. I need to take a look at your range of motion. I need to take a look at your strength. I need to take a look at your function. And I need to really check in with you all the time. Am I meeting your goals? Are we going towards your goals? And if we're not going towards the goals, then we need to reevaluate. I need to test and retest. I need to do something, and then I'm going to see how you feel, and then I'm going to do something else. And I'm going to keep going up that road, wherever it's going to take me, until we get you to your goal, which is, again, it's all about you. And again, I need to keep giving you assurance that we're going in the right direction. I need to give you variety, or else people can kind of get bored. I also need, again, I just need to make you feel like every time you come in that this has been the best visit you've ever had. Now you're doing great, and we're thinking about graduation, woo, having a big party. And at graduation time, what am I looking at? Did you meet your goals? Are you able to return to work? Are you able to return to walking to play some golf? Are you able to hold your grandchild? Everyone has different goals, and I need to reach that, making sure that on the last day that that we've done the best that we can to reach your goals. So that's it. So how do you choose the best physical therapist? Hopefully this information was really, really helpful. But to me, it's just all about making a connection. Someone that knows what you're going through, someone that knows your diagnosis, someone that has an understanding, and when you talk about your goals, they light up, they get excited about it. When I have patients that come in, I just get so excited and get so excited about educating them and having them understand why. And really, I just love making connections with people. So you're looking for a physical therapist that's going to do that for you. So I have a couple questions here that some people wrote in. And if anyone has any questions that's listening right now, I have the feed up over here and I can see it. Or you can also reach out to me at toddh@HoughtonPhysicalTherapy.com. Reach me anytime, or you can private message me on Facebook, and I will gladly be able to get back to you. So the first question is, this is a good one. What makes you most excited about treating patients? Well, As a physical therapist, what gets me most excited about treating patients, I just had someone that came in tonight, is addressing people's mindset. This gentleman came in tonight, and he's been having an issue that's been nagging for a long time. I asked him, well, how are you doing today? And he kind of came in and he was kind of a little bit slumped over. So I knew right off the bat I needed to change his state. So I needed to do something to change his state. So when he came in, I asked, how are you doing? He said, I'm feeling exactly the same. Okay. And by the time we walked through, he was 100 times better than he was. But what we came to the conclusion is that he wasn't where he wants to be yet. So we kind of went through from a month ago, he's made significant progress. He couldn't even walk without pain. He couldn't go up and down stairs without pain. Hi, Hannah, how's it going? Long time no see. He couldn't walk without pain. He couldn't go up and down stairs without pain. Now he's able to get through most of his day without any pain. He only wakes up with pain in the morning and pain at night. So I got him in a better state. We laughed and we joked a little bit. I got him focusing on something else. And then we came up with a better plan moving forward when he feels like he hasn't made any progress. So my favorite thing as a physical therapist is to help people to work on their mindset, because I know once I work on that, the rest is going to come. The favorite diagnosis that I like to work on is, I'm going to say the shoulder and the neck. Because I know with 100% certainty that anything related to the neck, anything I should say with the upper body, anywhere in the plugs, all the way from your shoulder to your elbow to your wrist, I know with 100% certainty that everything is going to come from the neck and the cervical spine. So how can I be creative enough to find out that connection? And then once I work on the connection of the neck, how do I get the shoulder better? A lot of times the shoulder problem, it just kind of resolves. Hi, Jasmine. How's it going? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. The next question. What is my favorite diagnosis to treat? That would be the shoulder. Love the shoulder. It's really complicated, but I really like all the intricacies just to kind of see what is going to make a difference. What are you going to make you better? What's going to make you better? And what do I need to do to get you there? The next question is, what is my least favorite diagnosis? I wouldn't say I really have any least favorite diagnoses. I would say that what I do find challenging is anything with the face of the hands. I don't have a lot of experience with the face of the hands. I can treat TMJ, but I'd say those are probably the ones that I find more challenging. But I would say, yeah, those are the ones. Great question, thank you. I've had many PT sessions which have included dry needling, Graston, and lots of stretching for my plantar fascia, and I'm still not feeling as good as I think I should be. Should I be going to physical therapy? That is a great question. So first thing, through my eyes as a physical therapist, I believe, just me, I believe that everything with the low body is related to the low back. If you're getting Graston and dry needling just to the foot, I feel that, just my opinion, that someone's missed the boat, and we need to look up a little bit farther up to the lumbar spine, because we know that a lot of the nerves send pain, give sensory changes, as well as strength changes in the lower body. So I would be saying, yes, you should be going to physical therapy, but I would maybe approach a physical therapist and say, hey, we're not really getting any better. What can we try? Because I'm sure if your physical therapist is working as hard as they can, and they're not getting better, I'm sure that they're finding this kind of challenging as well. So maybe you could even improve his state or her state by just changing it up and addressing something different. So that's probably where I would start. Next question. My chiropractor tells me that all I need is to have my spine adjusted and that my overall body wellness will start feeling better. Is this true? I think it's just in my opinion. I really believe that everything is centered off the spine as well. And I believe that if we're moving in the right direction by addressing, making sure the whole spine is moving well, and we're activating all the core muscles in the front and all the core muscles in the back and your glutes, that I believe most things should just fall into place. So I believe that's a crucial point to start. That's something where I always start. Every single person that comes in, I'm right at the spine, especially if they're coming in for hand or wrist or elbow issues or knee or foot issues. I'm always up at the spine all the time without question. Because again, I know with 100% certainty, everything related to the upper body is related to the neck, and everything related to the low body is related to the low back. Great question. The next question is I go to a CrossFit gym and my shoulder is very sore. I notice that after 8 reps of an overhead press with moderate weight, my shoulder gives out. Who should I go see for treatment? In my experience, what I find when a limb gives out, for example, a shoulder, an elbow, or a wrist, what I find is that it's a core issue. How's it going, Ron? Thanks for joining. So what I find, it's a core issue, meaning that your abdominals and your back are not strong enough. Your fuse box is not strong enough to be able to produce a force with all your extremities. So I would say, and that's from my own personal experience as well, that when I've done shoulder presses in the past and my shoulder just kind of feels like it gives out, it's because my core needs a little bit additional work. Either it's not strong enough or I need to activate it first just before doing the exercise. So I would take a simple look first. I believe in being simple as much as possible. So I would be looking at your core first. So you can go see a physical therapist for that. If you do see a personal trainer or maybe even your CrossFit coach, I would ask your CrossFit coach anything we can do for the core. But a really point to bring up that I talked about before is we would need to find your starting point. Maybe you're doing core exercises and levels that are too high for you right now, and we need to get back to some of the basics and build you up from there and build a nice, strong foundation from the bottom up. So that's all the questions I have tonight. I hope that this was helpful. Again, the talk tonight was about, can PT help me, and how can I choose the right physical therapist for me? Thanks again for tuning in. I'm just super passionate, super excited to be here again for another week. And if anyone out there has any ideas for topics that they'd like to see me talk about, I would love to address any issues or concerns that you have. I do have a whole list of topics that I just keep working off on a week-to-week basis. But again, I'm here to add more value to you. And how can I do that? By just getting your feedback. So thank you again for tuning in again. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you next week. Go Celtics!